Hello everyone, my name is John and I'm a cybersecurity analyst. So in this video, I'll be walking you through a quick demonstration of how two computers actually communicate using the TCP protocol. All right. Now the question is, what is TCP? So TCP, or what we call the Transmission Control Protocol, is actually a connection-oriented protocol. So what that means is that for every packet that is sent across a network, the TCP makes sure that these packets are tracked, delivered in order, and resent if there's any loss of packets. So it's ensuring that there's a reliable communication between devices. Okay. So unlike protocols like UDP, TCP guarantees that data arrive intact and in sequence. So it's accountable for every packet sent, which actually makes it ideal for applications where reliability matters, like web browsing, email, and file transfer. All right. So before any data is actually exchanged, the TCP performs what we call the TCP, the three-step handshake or the three-way handshake. So to establish a connection between two devices. So quickly, let's do it like this. So what is the TCP in a real human form? So the TCP can actually be like you as a person, or okay, me walking up to a person, meeting for the very first time. So I say hello to this person, and the person responds with hello, nice to meet you. And I'll be like, hey, nice to meet you. So what will just happen is that we've actually done what we call an establishment of trust, which in the computer world is called the TCP three-way handshake. All right. So that means there's a connection between me and this person, or the connection between the two computers, and they are ready to communicate. All right. So in the TCP three handshake, we have what we call the SYN-ACK, and we have the ACK. So I'll quickly explain what these are. So the SYN is actually the client that actually sends a synchronization request to the server to initiate what we call the communication, right? Then the SYN-ACK, the server acknowledges the request and responds with its own synchronization signal. Okay. Then the final ACK, the client acknowledges the server's response and the communication or the connection is actually established. So this handshake ensures that both sides are ready to communicate and agree to initiate, sequence number, yeah, which helps to, maintain order and the reliability throughout the whole section. Okay. So to demonstrate this, I'll be calling on a tool called the netcat tool. So what is the netcat? So netcat is actually a versatile networking utility that allows us to read and write data across network connection using both the TCP and the UDP. So with netcat, I will actually simulate how two machines establish what we call the TCP connection, okay? Send data and maintain reliability throughout the session. So moving forward, for every command that we enter, I will actually explain what's actually happening, and I'll document the process for for more details. All right, so now let's quickly dive in. Okay. Now, as you can see on my screen, I have three terminals. I have terminal one, so we'll take this as our terminal one, terminal two, and terminal three. So I'll quickly run the whole command on all three terminals to display or to demonstrate what the TCP it's all about, or the TCP3 handshake is all about, or how to actually communicate over the TCP protocol. All right, so to do that, I will be using this as my server. This is my client. Like I said, this is my terminal one. This is the server, this is the client, and this one is actually where I'll be running my command, or will be like a system camera that's going to monitor whatever is happening between the client and the server. All right. So in this terminal, I'll be running what we call the TCP dump. All right. Yeah, I'll be running what we call the TCP dump. So yeah, so the TCP dump is actually a network utility tool that actually helps us to analyze, inspect, inspect and monitor packets that are transversing between the network. All right. So its job is to monitor whatever is going to be happening between these two parties. Okay. So let's quickly run the command. So I'll run the whole command and I'll explain in my documentation what and every command I have run. All right. So to start, I'll call on the sudo command. Okay. All right, so the three-way handshake has just been initiated, and as you can see, this is what we call the first synchronization. We call it the SYN, and this is the second synchronization with the SYN and an ACK. This dot is represented as an acknowledgement, and this is the final acknowledgement, as I said earlier. So this is in the local host. This is the client actually talking with the server on this on this port, and this is the return communication from the server to back to the client on this randomly chosen port, right? And this is the final communication also. So that's it. So it's just a very quick video on how two machines actually communicate with each other over the TCP network. All right. So if I keep saying hello, I'm just giving up messages, whatever, just writing whatever message I'm sending. You can see the TCP dump actually taking notification of what is happening on the network, right? So that is all that's happening. It's actually a connection with the protocol, and you can see all data is being captured, and that is it. So I'll terminate the session now, and as you can see, on termination, we have the fin flag. All right. So this is essentially finish an acknowledgement, sending from the sending from the server back to the client that okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with this connection. Let's end this section. All right. So this is a finish flag and it's an acknowledgement. Then the IP or the client is actually sending a response from its own random children port back to the local to the server and said, okay, I acknowledge the fact that you want to end. So this is it. So when I also end the session here, I also have the same message. All right. So you can see, and this is also from the from the client send it to the server. Say, okay, I'm also going to end my session and acknowledge that, and same way the server ends and end the session. So we call this the TCP to handshake, and it's very reliable. In fact, that for every connection that comes in, it's accounted for, and it's well organized and in order. So that is the whole. That's what really happens when two computers communicate across the TCP, protocol. So thank you for watching. Bye.